Well, well, well. What is going on? So, good morning. I hope you can hear me. I've got my little ear things in, as I may have to be moving around because, as many of you know, my cat, my cat, um, she's being a pistol this morning. Um, so I want to talk about what I'm not going to talk about this morning. I'm not going to talk about the agreement that has been put out there. I'm not, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's immaterial. It's immaterial. It's not a thing. So when I say that, I mean that it is a bog standard pro bono um, retainer request. So to me, there's nothing there. I'm not interested. So what I do want to talk about, though, is the confusion. Are any of y'all confused about what's going on? How is everybody? So, but again, so I am not going to talk about that, right? I'm not here for that. Because again, not. So, anybody confused? Hey, I'll give a few hot seconds here for people to come on. So the order of events for today, and it shouldn't be very long. Again, I'm not talking about the behind the scenes stuff. I'll start with Miss Cara Weineke's post that many people had a very understandably visceral reaction to. Um, uh, okay, yeah, okay, so everybody's nuts, confused, me too. Actually, it's not that confusing. It really isn't. And so that's why I think it's really critical to point out that the agreement that was released, I don't care who it came from. I don't care about any of that. I don't care who's talking about it. People can talk about it. That's not my thing. It is not germane to this conversation about Richard Allen, the status of his case, and what is happening with the potential for a civil case with his appellate counsel and all of that. So let me just see here. Okay, so I did speak with, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I did speak with Miss Uliana this morning because, as I'm sure everybody knows, there was a public post put out there that suggested getting in contact with the appellate lawyers for Mr. Allen if there were questions. And so I took that at its word and reached out for a comment from Stacey Uliana. And she did, I did end up talking to her. So what I want to share with you, I'm gonna tell you, hang on. Here's what, and so we did have a conversation sort of just back and forth a little bit, but I'm going to share on the screen what is in quotes is what she said. Okay. So our conversation was very quick this morning, and she was driving to work. So I mentioned that there was a public post out there claiming to be claiming that people should contact appellate counsel if there were any concerns specifically about Michael Osbrook, unfortunately, was named. And again, I'm not going to talk about that either. So the appellate counsel, Stacey Liana, said to me, basically, this is, hang on, basically, this is it. So she was very nice. She was, I will tell you that when I asked about the appeal, she said, quote, all I could tell you is that an appeal is pretty straightforward and it's not really an investigation process. Then she went on to tell me, we're waiting for a transcript. Once we get the transcript, we will read through it and then take it from there. And as she said, and if you tuned in last week when I talked to Cara, it is pretty straightforward. You're within the four corners of the record. And so they're waiting on the transcript to go through that. So there's not any investigation associated with this. I asked her about that public facing post advising people to contact the appellate lawyers if there were questions. And she said, quote, so I don't know if you have any idea on that. I don't want to get in the middle of all of this. It seems like a distraction from what I need to be doing. So it's a little, that's how I captured it. But the key takeaway is that it seems like a distraction. She added, I know that the post is out there. You're not the first one to have contacted her. So they are aware of this post. And so then I'll tell you what I did next, because it was clear that they're aware of it. And I believe her word that it is a distraction. I also believe it is well within appellate counsel's power to come out and make a statement to that effect. That is not something they said. She did say that it was a distraction. Okay. So what I then did, yes, and I know murder sheet, who cares? So here's what I'm going to say about murder sheet reaching out. It's not about that document. Okay. This is this is what it's about. Okay. If they want to make hay about it, go on ahead. Because I can guarantee you that the lawyers involved with the post-conviction relief efforts certainly went through the proper channels to contact the lawyer who is representing the party versus what Kevin and Anya did when they contacted a represented party. So I would like them to go ahead. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Don't care. Do not care. I talked to Stacey Juliana. She said, it's a distraction, and it is, period. Period. Then I called. I reached out to, the next thing I did was to call Mr. Cloutier, who is Kathy Allen's attorney, because that is the person that there is no PR person, there is no communications person. So in order to, and I'm not reaching out to Kathy Allen, so I reached out to and left a message for Mr. Cloutier. I believe that's how you say his name. So I left a message just saying, can you please contact me and help me understand if this is actually a representation of Mrs. Allen's statement. This is the problem, right? This is the problem with no strategy to talk to the public, and it's unfortunate. And I think that the right thing to do, if past is prologue, right? If past is prologue and we see what happened with the trial counsel, obviously there was gag orders, et cetera, but there was almost, and I know they had a trial going on, but there were ways potentially to communicate with the media that dispelled or clarified the process for some people, and that wasn't done, and it led to a circus of you know uh, the very few who were putting out the narrative. And well, yeah, I'm reading through this, but I can't. Um, uh, Sorry, I can't look at chat. Um, so what was I saying? So I think that the best course for, if I were doing any sort of media advising for the appellate counsel, I would say, please come out and say then that this is not something that that you stand by. And very clearly, other people have reached out, so maybe make a statement. It's real easy. That's something they could do. So the other thing I wanted to address was apparently, and I've not been able to verify this, but it seems like there is a, what do you call it? There's some sort of, messages that are being posted on Reddit and other places that Mr. Rosie was somehow involved in some of this. Uh, what is this? Oh, okay. I can't look at chat. Sorry, I get caught up in my underwear. So there was apparently some mention of Brad Rosie in the background, and about making some sort of advice about. It was very bizarre. This sort of behind the scenes chat that was shared apparently on Reddit. I don't do Reddit. I'm not good at it. The bottom line is that it indicated that somehow indicated that Mr. Rosie was alerted to something, or that had to do with work product or whatever. So I reached out to Mr. Rosie, who is in court apparently this morning, or was, and left a very, very detailed message about the situation, just to find out. Because the thing is that, again, I don't care about the drama behind the scenes. I care about what is going on with the case, that Mr. Allen is getting. One thing that we know for sure, the only thing I know for sure, is that the appellate case is on track. And we know from Cara and Michael that Mark Lehman and Stacey Juliana are really amazing appellate lawyers. So that is in process. Okay. Now, let's see. So again, don't care about the agreement, really don't. But so I just want everybody to keep that in mind when Murder Sheet comes out with their nonsense. It's not about that. So then let's recap. Stacey Juliana said, no, it's a distraction. Don't want that. I would encourage her, or any other Indiana counsel out there who may have some connection to this, to have her issue a statement to that effect, that this is not, please do not contact us. So it is not, it's not, and the other thing too that I think is important to talk about here is that this doesn't have, people need to bear in mind that Cara Weineke and Michael Osbrook are not lawyers for Richard Allen right now. There is one lawyer who is working with Mrs. Allen, and all of the proper protocols between lawyers are going on, and attorney-client privilege is being respected. So I'm really not concerned about that. So it is not, and I guess part of this is me trying to make pretty clear here that this is not about Cara. It's not about Michael Osbrook. It's not about Cara. It's not even about the people putting out the nonsense behind the scenes. So it is now, for better or worse, appellate counsel's circus. And if there were concerns about, a circus, a media circus before, that was somehow making them reticent to, yeah, I'm not going to comment on. I know everybody wants to talk about the elephant in the room here, but I'm not. I can't give that. This isn't, and also, so okay, sorry. Let me just gather my thoughts. How do I want to say this? Getting it from the horse's mouth, right? So that's my job. So my job was to make those calls. Now it's up to the Mr. Rosie and Mr. Cloutier to get back to me. And we'll see. We'll see what they say. But for right now, the onus is on appellate counsel, from what I can gather. If so, from an objective point of view, when I'm looking at this, I want to speak to people who are in a position that are actually on record with an appearance for Mr. Allen, which are the appellate counsel, or Mrs. Allen's attorney. So those are the three attorneys I'm worried about. Not worried about, but those are the ones that I'm in contact with. I want to make that they're when I talked to Cara last week about how this works, about how we had a beautiful demonstrative. Does anybody remember the demonstrative? Okay, so I do want to address this. I don't know if that's true or not, honestly. I really don't. So, but I do want to talk about our, maybe I can play a little bit of it. Can I? Let me see. Let me see if I can share this. I don't know if this will do something weird or not. And then, okay, so, nah, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, you can go back. It's listed in the description of this. It's very siloed. So again, I'm going to use, you get to see how my brain works. Please stand by. Okay, let's see. I have my queen shirt on, so everything's fine. I always ask myself, what would Freddie do? He would use a demonstrative. Okay. Appeals, appellate, PCR, habeas, right? this is where we are. That's Stacy Y. That is Mark L. There is nobody occupying this space right now. Nobody. None. This, down the road. I'm sure this is very clear. I'm sure this has cleared it all up, and I'll talk to you later. No, but it's clear. So these things are siloed, right? So the ongoing effort to make it look like there's just rampant impropriety among lawyers is nonsense. It's just nonsense. So appeals are a silo. Any post-conviction, and post-conviction will happen. It's just a matter of when, unless there is a new trial, period, right? So we know that. So I don't think that there's any confusion. I think there's frustration among the people that at least I know who are involved, right? So in the case, and have been throughout the pendency of the case. So I think there's some frustration. I think that Cara was really clear in her tweet the other day. And I know that, and this is going to strike some people as weird, but Michael and Cara didn't want to comment about any of this. And I don't blame them, because why should they? They're not involved. They're not involved. So that is that. They've given me no reason to not believe them. So let's see. Let's see what yes, I know. And so that is the frustration. So Sleuthy said, the frustration is that the PCR could potentially be pushed off down the road. Yeah, certainly. But again, that, I think that the appellate counsel knows well and good that the post-conviction relief could start now. They know it. Everybody knows it because Cara was very, very clear about that. Maybe I'll put up one of her. Let's see. But I do think too, the other thing, okay, so there was the public post about contacting appellate counsel. Check, I did that. There was mention of Mr. Rosie being contacted in the weird sort of background screenshots. Called Mr. Rosie. Check. Called Mr. Cloutier. Check. All right, fine. And I am check. Sorry, it's been a weird morning around here. So the other thing that struck me is that the civil case is nothing new. So I think there was there was something going around about how the civil, maybe somebody can help me, but somebody was saying that the civil suit was a surprise, or that the fact that there's concern over the statute of limitations for a DOC complaint. Sorry. Basically, yeah, she said this is not investigative. She said, no, it's not investigative. Let me just check what she said. Yeah, this is not really an investigation process. So they operate within the four corners, right? And I think this is, I think DB is kind of right. The thing is crank gonna crank, and that's okay. Despite what people may say. So the other thing that I wanted to address was this idea that somehow there had been some sort of revelation about a possible civil suit. You know what? I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit because you know what? Certainly, let's see. This, friends, this. Let me just make sure that I can pull this up. So the other thing people were concerned about was apparently that it was a surprise that was somebody outed, either Michael or Cara, on, and this is not, you know what, this is not a defense of them. This is just because they are the people that are, it's nuts. Mention of the civil suit is not anything new. When I spoke with Monica, which is the pseudonym of the woman who went to visit Rick, there was talk of it then. There was talk of it back, as you can see from my demonstrative from Mr. Rosie. Also, I will note that Brad Rosie still has a goddamn Yahoo email address. What? God. Okay. Anyway, so this, I want to bring attention to this because the concern is that there's a 2-year, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, I believe a 2-year statute of limitations to file a civil request or a civil claim. Now, as you will see, this date is April 18th, 2023, which will be 2 years ago tomorrow. Okay. Bradley Rosie representing Mr. Richard Allen made basically what this is a placeholder, and this is on the CCS. So, and this is a placeholder, and so you will see here, tort claim notice. You know what that is? Does anybody know what that is? Anyone? 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 Y'all know. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. It's civil. It's a civil suit. This was filed during the pendency of Mr. Allen's trial. So we'll just read through it here. So again, I don't know when the statute starts, but my point here is that somebody's running around saying that it was a big old surprise about a civil suit. It's not. There's been a placeholder in there. There was an attorney that went to visit Mr. Allen a month ago or something. It's not new news. So whoever's saying that is full of nonsense. Okay, so, and the thing about this that's really important is that this is something that we need to be talking about, right? We need to be talking about the DOC. You're hereby notified that Richard M. Allen, blah, 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 Westville, Indiana, is asserting a claim against those listed above. Okay, got all of these folks, Tobe, the DOC, et cetera, the Attorney General, who are known and not known, who acted on behalf of the above agencies for the injuries and damages he has sustained and continues to sustain from his unlawful incarceration on October 28, 2022, associated with criminal case number blah, 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 wherein Mr. Allen was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder in the county of Carroll, state of Indiana. In addition to being unlawfully detained, Richard M. Allen has been inhumanely incarcerated in a maximum security segregation unit within Indiana Department's Correction Westville Correctional Facility pending trial. It is our opinion that the above named agencies and or entities are the proximate cause of this incident. The purpose of this letter is to inform you of our client's claims against you pursuant to Indiana Tort Claims Act and blah, blah, blah. The full amount of damages sought on behalf of my client is unknown at this time. Keep in mind here, I'll put a note in. The client also includes Mrs. Allen. Okay, so that would be on her behalf, certainly, as well, at this stage, right? At this stage. When this information becomes available, we will promptly forward it to you or your agent's attention. If for any reason you feel the above notice does not constitute full and complete notice of our claim, you can dial 1-800 blow it out your ass. XOXO, Brad Rosie. So, yeah. So that is that, right? So, yeah, that's that. I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, do not know. I think that it is on the appellate counsel. I hope, does that clear things up? I don't know what's going on with post-conviction. I do, like DB says, who's always hogging up the chat, yeah, that's exactly what that was. I mean, under the tort law, right? So that's what that is. And that was filed 2 years ago. So, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. What else can I say? DB is innocent. DB is a chat pirate. Yeah. And I believe that Mrs. Allen's, Mr. Cloutier is a tort. I know he's personal injury, but I think that there's an ability to file something. So, and even just something that's a placeholder, right? So it doesn't have to be a work of art. It just has to be like, hey, here we are. Kind of like what Mr. Rosie did here. So, as always, Sleuthie is right. But I do believe that that is something that Mr. Cloutier is capable of doing, even if he doesn't do it in these situations. I do think that in his capacity as, civil tort attorney, right? Maybe just get a placeholder in. Yeah, I mean, so I think that unfortunately the truth of the matter is that it's exactly where it was before this cavalcade of public spleen venting. And so, yeah, I think it's actually pretty straightforward. And I do think that the questions needing to about any and all public postings that mention the appellate counsel need to be addressed to the appellate counsel. And they're easy to find. I mean, I looked her up. I know that sucks, but maybe issuing a statement would be easier for everybody. This is correct. But appellate counsel, unless they want to do a Dayton Hatton, whatever, maneuver, and put that on hold, you're right. They aren't post-conviction. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't think anything's changed. Okay, that's not true. I don't think things have shifted so dramatically. I do know that Cara, from her tweet, is stepping back. That I don't think that means anything definitive. I really don't. I think that there are so many people that are willing to help here, like certain innocence projects, right? Kind of greasing the wheels there. So I think that there's a lot of options that are still out there. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that ultimately, I am not the Allen family. And I think, honestly, let me see here. I'm not the Allen family. I don't know what the hell I would do. Honestly, I have no idea. But this is from the end of Cara's. We'll go through that. Let's go through this quickly here, just because I know that it's, this is kind of what we're talking about. But I did want to get that out there that I'd spoken to Miss Liliana first. So Cara just simply said, um, uh, piggybacking on this earlier post, appellate work is very different than post-conviction work. Appeals have hard and fast deadlines. We have a very efficient appellate court system here in Indiana. And again, if you tuned in last week, you saw that. Ms. Weineke made it very clear. Very efficient system. And the judges and the justices expect attorneys to monitor their caseloads if they cannot, so they can meet those deadlines. Post-conviction practice occurs at a much slower pace. The investigation portion starts at any time. In fact, and this is an important point to point out, in fact, in capital cases, which basically is an LWOP, in my opinion, but in capital cases, it is not unusual to see post-conviction counsel interacting with trial counsel even before the verdict. So I do think that this is a very critical part to pull out here, as that sometimes this crap happens or this starts before a verdict. Okay, so none of this is necessarily unseemly as it's being made out to be. Okay. So again, in fact, in capital cases, it is not unusual to see post-conviction counsel interacting with trial counsel even before verdict. Right. Okay. The work itself is also different. On appeal, you're reviewing what has been done. Again, my God, we did a PSA last week, conducting research and doing a lot of writing. In post-conviction, you're really starting over from the beginning and looking to see what was done and what wasn't done in terms of investigation. Is there new evidence that would have made a difference? That process takes time, a lot of it, but you aren't really on a clock. Indiana gives defendants time to develop their cases. Nevertheless, the defendant is serving time in prison, so there is always a push to move quickly. During the time after the Delphi verdicts, I believe there was interest by the Allen family in beginning the post-conviction process while the appeal was being litigated. Nearly a month ago, we attempted to start that process by sending a pro bono representation draft agreement to the Allen family through Kathy's attorney. My God, they did it right. Holy crap. A represented party got reached out to through their attorney? Keep that in mind, Murder Sheet. When they talk about it, keep it in mind. A month ago, we attempted to start that process by sending a pro bono representation draft agreement to the Allen family through Kathy's attorney. Right? That's how you do it. I know there's been a lot. No, I'm not going to get into that. To date, we have not been told about specific concerns about the agreement. Normally, all of this is done privately by the parties, but nothing about this case is normal. Smiley face. Not even an emoji. It's like an old school. It's like Gen X smiley face. Love it. Instead, it appears the draft was shared with others. I don't know when, by whom, or to whom. But I do know that some publicly claimed we were attempting to steal the appeal to get our hands on the fundraising money and to sell the rights to a story for a book deal. Wow, that I didn't. I guess I didn't read all the way through it. Wow. Okay. None of this is true because it's not. None of that is true. But I couldn't say anything because the discussions were usually conducted confidentially between parties, meaning lawyers. The appropriate the appropriate, right? I just wanted to help for free because I believe an injustice has been done, but I can't afford on my own to pay for experts out of pocket. And there is an investigation that needs to be done now before the evidence disappears. And I guarantee you, it's going to start disappearing. Anyway, yesterday, so it must have been the 13th. Yesterday, the draft agreement was shared publicly. I can only assume that was done with permission. I can also only assume that the message was clear that my help is not desired. I will continue to follow this case and pray for a just outcome. I wish the Allens the best of luck in their future endeavors. I think that's pretty clear. You know? Yeah, this, so, hang on a second. This is actually an interesting point. Certain people saying that Osbrook tried buying Discovery he already had. Yeah, I don't know. I, I think that it's interesting because in this case, as we know, with the recently released all of the defense requests for payment and for experts and for investigators, we know that there has been a foot dragging or had been a foot dragging of the Judge Gold to pay those things. So I think that that's one of the things that I wanted to speak to Mr. Rosie about, was this allegation that there was an attempt to somehow buy something, because I believe that's where I think, let me make sure I got that right. Please stand by. Talk amongst yourselves. Be nice. Let's see. Um, yeah, so I think it was mentioned, Mr. Rosie's name was mentioned in a similar, or in the same sort of behind the scenes messaging that in the same breath as alleging Mr. Osbrook had tried to buy something. Again, I don't have any idea. Try to not do. That's why I called Brad Rosie, and I will let you know what I find out when I find out. Yes, the defense. Well, that's not necessarily true. It was experts, I believe. So I do believe there was an expert, which is like, I mean, what, Karen Reed's got like almost $1 million. I'm sure Luigi gets like girls' underwear and money. So I don't think that that is. I'm sorry. Say more. Bell Mayhem. People give Michael way too much credit. Is that serious? I don't think so. I mean, I think is that a serious comment? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Um, oh, okay. I'm autistic as fuck, y'all. I do not get it. Sometimes you have to hit me on the head. I do not get. Sorry. Ah. um, Now this is something I do want to address. Let me take this down. Remove. Because you're right. I think that it's a problem. It is a problem what is being done. And so I think maybe it's time to go back and look at how Jody was involved in, I think, some of the potential allegedly maybe leaks going on. I don't know. Yikes. Um, so I think it's, I mean, I don't know what to make of it, but I do think that I do not trust the totality of the Allen County court system. And I think, I haven't had any interaction with Jody, but it may be time to just take it to, trying to think of where you would go from there. Because it seems to run afoul of the public records law, which I know that they don't care about, but let me think about that. Let's see. Sorry, sorry I didn't get your, I seriously, woo, do not, sometimes I don't get things, but man, drop a bunch of matches on the floor and I can count them. Just kidding, can't. Anyway, yeah, so let's see. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I have new public access. Um, all right, well, let's not have a circle jerk for Michael. Sorry, oh my God, I can't believe I said that out loud. Oh, God. Y'all, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. That was terrible. That was awful. I can't believe I said that. Oh, apologies. Oh, anyway, no. No. Oh my God. Again, that autistic thing is coming in hot. Maybe I'm gonna have to go sit in my quiet closet for a while and get myself right. So I think honestly that's it. I don't really have anything else to add. Anyone? I think that's it. I mean, so um, and I'll post this somewhere. There seems to be some sort of wording mix up, but I'll fix this and post this. That, Stacy Juliana said it the best, that this is a distraction. It seems like a distraction. Yeah. If only there was somebody that could do something about it. Oh shit. Are you kidding me? Great. Anyway, so yeah, it is a distraction. And it's a distraction that I personally believe the appellate counsel could put the kibosh on. If in fact they did not approve to be contacted. And that seems like what she's trying to do here, but I would love to see it being very, very, clear. I have no idea about the Liberato rumor and do not want to know about it because I do not have enough of brain space. But thank you for calling. Let's see. Okay. So I mean that's it. That's all I really got. It's a let's see. It's a distraction from what everybody and I need to be doing. Yeah. And apparently they're getting contacted. So I don't want to know the rumors. So no. Yuck. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. You guys can stay if you'd like and talk about these rumors, but I can't. So anyway, what do you, okay, all right, tell me, what? No, I have no, don't, again, autistic day. Um, no, okay, I don't know what it is. Somebody needs to spell it out for me very clearly. Don't ever be sorry. Nobody apologize in the chat, um, unless you're being a bag of wieners. Oh, he was what? Y'all, but physically? Oh my God. What? Oh, come on. Oh, pish posh. Oh my God. I'm okay. I'm not gonna pull that up. So it's malarkey. Okay. It's malarkey. 100%. Yes, a bag of wieners, correct. Um, you got rustled up. No, it's a bag of wieners. Oh my God. Okay. I see. So, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that, who knows? I doubt it has anything to do with anything. Certainly not going to speculate. I doubt it was related. Who knows? I mean, you know what? Delphi, the crime of it all, um, the crime itself, the murder of the girls, what has happened to Mr. Allen and his family is absolutely horrific enough in and of itself. Granted, the concerns over Flora and some of the related bizarre things that have gone on around it. But to try, I don't know anything, and so my concern is that when people try to make every little thing that happens to someone who at one point in time walked through Delphi or was, involved in the process at some point, every time something happens doesn't need to mean anything in regards to Delphi. So my point is that I believe there is some wanton fuckery going on. I totally am willing to accept that. But my only thing unless I hear more, um, is that if you throw too much spaghetti at the wall, uh, then there's a problem. And so, having to stay focused. um, oh God, Michael, get out of here. What are you doing? Somebody yeet him from this chat, doing all sorts of weird shit. Okay. PW. Yeah, yeah. Yep. So anyway, that is that. And all of that and such and such and so and so. I guess right? Mm-mm-mm. So anyway. Oh God. Okay. All right. Yikes. Okay. I'm going to do work because this obviously is not paying the bills, even though people believe that this washed up old hag journalist is just in it for the clicks. Actually, I'm in it to just clear some shit up. So anyway, y'all know that forever and ever, I hate you guys the least.